Okay, so the last thing that we're going to talk about is how do you save an image? I know that we just did really minimal edits today. If you were to pull up your original and your edited photo, there's just going to be, minimal differences, makes it look a little bit better. And we are going to learn more as the semester and as the year progresses. But for now, just learning how to crop, how to do spot healing, and how to add a couple of adjustment layers to our photographs. That's a really great start. Some really basic minimal editing on Photoshop. But let's get back to how do you save an image. So if you were to hit Command Save on your keyboard, which is Apple S or Command S, it's going to pull up your Save As dialog box. Another way to get to it is if you go up here to File and you want to go to Save As, it's going to pull up that same box. So you will notice that my image has something that's maybe a little unfamiliar right here. It says .psd, and what that means is that this is going to save as a Photoshop file. Now, if you are going to be coming back to this image, you want to continue to work on it, you would save it as a Photoshop file so that you can open it up in Photoshop with all of these layers still intact. Nothing's been compressed. You can come back to exactly how you had it. So if you ever want to rework on an image, save it as a Photoshop file. If, however, you're done and you are ready to move on, you want to compress the image, save it as a JPEG, because JPEG can be read by any other program, right? You can upload it to Google Photos, you can upload it to your website, any program that hosts an image is going to be able to read a JPEG file. So that is your most common type of image file, and that's what you want to save your images as. So we're going to go right here to where it says Format, and in the drop-down menu, you are going to select JPEG. Once I do that, you'll notice that it changes the name. It adds copy right here. The reason that it does that is because if you were to save it without this little word that says copy, it would replace your original image, because this is what your original image is named. So if you were to save this with the same name as the original, it would delete that original and replace it with this edited version. We don't want to do that. Also, you can come up with your own the way that you want to name your photos is totally up to you. I could teach you different methods on, how to name your photographs, but because it's so unique to the photographer, I want you to decide how are you going to name your images. For now, I'm just going to leave it named how it generated it, as the original image, and then with copy on the end so that it doesn't replace my original image. The last thing I want you to pay attention to is where you save your photos. Mine is saved to my photos folder, and I'm fine with that. If you're probably going to want yours saved to your float folder, however. Don't save it in some random folder that you have no idea where the image is. Always pay close attention to where your images are saved so that when you go to turn in your photos, upload them, what have you, you know exactly where to go. You'll remember, oh, my edited images are in my float folder. If you even want to create a new folder within your float folder that maybe is called float edited, you can do that as well. It's totally up to you. That's just another little aspect of good organization. But now that I know that this image isn't going to replace my original because it has copy in there, I know that it's saved to my photos, and I have my format is a JPEG, I can go ahead and click Save, and it will save my image. I'll click OK. And then if I go back to my photos folder, there it is. There is the copy of the image that I just saved. It's ready to go. Notice all my cropping. Notice my spot healing. I don't have any random little spots in the back. Contrast, brightness are bumped up a little bit. So not a ton of adjustments, but just enough to make that image pop.